Hello, my name is Jacob Tran, and today on the lab, Flash goes 3D.
How are you? Good to see you and welcome to the lab. I'm Leo Laporte and this is the show where we're going to help you get the most out of your technology. Everything to do with computers, the internet, cell phones, camcorders. I should just line them up here. Home theater, everything, all the stuff. We cover it all. What are you laughing at? I feel like I could be, your humble bartender, Leo.
What do you want? What do you want?
Serve you up serving a tech. Kate Abraham, ladies and gentlemen. She is the keeper of the clipboard and has handed me this clipboard that tells us that this is episode 72. See, everything I say is on this clipboard.
Exactly.
If Kate doesn't put it here, I don't say it. Jacob Tran is coming up. He's going to talk about 3D Flash. I didn't think you could do 3D with Flash, but we will. You've got a Facebook app of the day?
I have a very good one today.
Oh, I can't wait.
Completely useless, but good fun.
Useless and fun?
Yes.
Sounds like my kind of app. Sean's got a shiny. He loves his little gadgets. And Jeremy Hubert's going to talk about something that is sweeping the web world. It's called Ruby on Rails. If you've heard of this term and you've tried to figure out what it is, we're going to learn about it. It's actually really cool. And if you're a young person or even an old person like me who's getting into programming or would like to learn more about it, this is the flavor of the month, year, maybe decade. It really is a great little tool. So we'll find out more about that. It's really building Web 2.0. But this show, I want to tell you, this show is all about the calls.
It is.
That's the most important part. So let's get our first caller of the day on here.
I have a friend of yours on the line, I think.
A friend of mine?
Yeah, Jean from Folsom in California.
Oh, I know Jean and her husband Mike, although I call him Jim. I don't know why. Hi, Jean. How are you?
Hi, Leo. How are you?
How's Jim?
Oh, he's doing great.
Great to get you on the show. How are you? Well, I saw Jean just the other day. Where were we? Oh, we were at a party for Jaiku. That's right.
Right. That was just great.
You and Mike came out to say hi, and it was nice to see you. What can I do for you to help you today?
Well, what I'm looking for is a recommendation for an outdoor wireless webcam.
Outdoor wireless webcam. Is this for...
Remember our turtle, Henry?
Yeah.
We want to put him on Stickum.
Your husband's a school teacher.
Yes.
And Henry is an important part of his class. Yes?
What's that?
Is Henry an important part of his class?
Well, he used to be, but the school district decided he couldn't be there anymore.
Oh, no.
He now lives in our backyard.
Because you've heard about turtleitis.
They're worried about something. I don't know what the problem was, but nobody can have a live pet. So
really?
We have Henry in our backyard. He's much happier. He's got a bigger place.
That's a shame. So Stickum is a site that we use, actually. We're using it right now to kind of stream behind the scenes on the show. In fact, I could probably find our stream on here somewhere. Are we on here? Let me see if... Yeah, both Sean and Kate and a bunch of others are streaming behind the scenes. I don't see it. But anyway, so this is kind of a neat thing. It allows you to do live video on the internet. Wow. I mean, that's pretty cool, and it's absolutely free. So wouldn't this be cool for all the students who want to see poor little Henry? They miss him. They could go and see. But he has to be outside?
Yes, he is outside. He's got a wonderful little place we built up for him outside. He's very happy there, but... other people also used to visit. We had him on a webcam when he was indoors. That was easy.
Yeah, and
see the website and visit with Henry. Henry's got a blog and an email account, all kinds of things.
What's Henry's blog?
Yes.
What is his blog address?
Oh, he's at henrytheturtle.com.
I got to see this. He's like the internet superstar, Henry the Turtle. There he is.
Turtle actually got visitors from people who we have no idea how they found it.
In fact, I could see you're looking for a wireless camera. Let me call in Sean. Have you ever met Sean, Jean?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah, Sean's a great guy. Oh, when did we meet?
We met at the Zeum.
At the Zeum?
At the Twit taping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ages ago. All right. So we want to give a Henry cam. Now, it's got to be weatherproof, is that right? And it has to be completely wireless? Does it have to have a battery in it, or can you plug it in?
Oh, we can plug it in. That wouldn't be a problem.
And you want to have moving pictures of it, right?
That would be best.
Yeah. Boy, what are we going to do for her? You've got, look at, see, these are all the things. He comes up with all this stuff. Now, I don't know how this would work with Stickum or not, but this is the Axis cam. We've used this.
Not with Stickum, but it is, it's a wireless cam.
You wouldn't need Stickum if you had this.
You wouldn't need Stickum. It has its own little web server, and it's the Axis 206W, which is for wireless.
The Axis 206W.
And what you need to do is you need to hook it up to your regular Wi-Fi network. It'll work with an unencrypted connection or with web. It doesn't do WPA yet unless they've done a firmware upgrade.
Well, if you gave it its own router, you'd isolate it from your own network in that way. Now, here's the beauty of it. It's got a web server built into it.
Yes.
Is it outdoor?
You could probably make it outdoors with a couple of modifications.
Just put a little roof over it.
Put a little roof over it.
You know, you can see the mount is pretty heavy duty. I mean, it's intended for security and that sort of thing. And now, so you wouldn't need Stickum. You would just, basically on the Henry the Turtle site, you would link to this, basically this image that's coming over, and it streams live video. It's pretty amazing. It does it wirelessly, and it does outdoors, it says, so that's a good sign. It does very well in low light, 30 frames a second, 640 by 480.
The habitat that Henry's in right now is protected. It's shaded and covered, so he doesn't.
Oh, it'll be fine for that then. It'll be fine for that. Now, it's not cheap. It's a couple $100, right?
It's a couple $100. Now, what's going to be more costly in the end is the bandwidth, probably. It's nice in that if you don't have anybody watching it, it's not going to use any bandwidth because it requires that inbound connection to start sending data. But if you have a bunch of people watching, especially at higher frame rates, then it'll keep your bandwidth pumping out.
It's not like Henry is a rock and roll superstar. It's just going to be the kids, right?
He's got a blog.
And occasional other visitors. People just seem to find him and write to him and things.
I think this would work fine. We've had 20 people at a time watching it without too much trouble.
Yeah, and the nice thing is if it is eating up all your bandwidth, you can scale it back so that it'll only refresh upon your refresh. When someone asks it to refresh, you can scale it back to a few viewers. You can change the quality level to something lower as well. So that'll all save on bandwidth.
They say they discontinued the 206 and replaced it with the 207. I'm sure it's pretty similar. Bandwidth efficient, it says, because it uses MPEG-4. So that's the one way they're getting more bandwidth is by compressing it more in the camera.
And hopefully it does WPA now.
Now, what I would say one of the advantages of doing this is the school may not want the kids to have to create accounts on Stickum. In fact, there's been a little bit of concern about Stickum. There was a New York Times article because the owner of Stickum also happens to run some porn sites with cameras. And now Stickum itself seems to be absolutely clean, but according to the New York Times, there's shared staff and shared office space. And if the school sees that and then they see that you want the kids to go on Stickum, they're going to say, not going to happen.
That's probably true.
Yeah, so I think it's probably better to do it this way. You don't need Stickum at all. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to get 1,000 people watching Henry at the same time, but that's probably all right. And at least they'd be able to check in with Henry on the website, and they'd just go straight to henrytheturtle.com, and there it would be.
There is a workaround, actually, for that. You can actually have a web page, pull the image from this, and redisplay it on a web page. So you won't be able to have...
That would save the bandwidth, because then the web page would only make one connection to your camera, and everybody else would make a connection to your website. I like that. I like that. Hey, Gene, it's great to talk to you. Say hi to Mike.
I will certainly do so.
And thank you for being on the show. Axis, AXIS. They make some really neat stuff. Axis Communications, their website is axis.com. Coming up, Jacob Tran. He's going to talk about the latest with Flash 3D animations. Amazing what they do. When the lab continues, you stay right here. Welcome back to the lab with Leo. Jacob Tran is back. He's a professional software consultant and game design instructor, and he's going to show us a little bit about using Flash in a new and interesting way. Jacob, as you've been saying all along, that Flash is a really great platform for game design. Not something maybe we normally consider for game design, except that more and more you're seeing it on the web.
Right.
Yeah, and everywhere, really. So, but I didn't think you could do 3D environments. I thought Flash was kind of a 2D thing.
Right. So we're going to take it up a notch today.
All right.
Especially with the advent of CS3.
Yeah.
The Flash player is so much more optimized that you can actually generate 3D and play around with the environments. And
normally it takes so much processing that it's not practical to do it
exactly,
with Flash. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to step us through some examples of how to do 3D in Flash. And the first one I'm going to show you is the idea of parallax. And when I explain this to the students, I talk about when you're young and you're looking out of your parents' car, the grass beside the road is moving a lot faster than the mountains behind them.
And the moon seems to follow you.
Yeah, it's just
kids notice that right away.
Exactly. So this idea of parallax is something you can simulate within Flash. So this is the most basic form of 3D you can do. Another basic form of 3D you can do is actually go into 3ds Max or Maya, generate a image sequence. So let's say we have here a fly-through of our satellite all the way out to space. And
we're looking at a two-dimensional representation, but because it was done in a 3D product like 3D Studio, it looks 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get this amazing result. And I actually did a project with Nintendo, and I'm going to show you a quick example of how combining those two, you get a really, really neat effect. So here we're on the roof of a building.
Oh, that's cool.
And if we hover over this gentleman here, he turns into the Nintendo DS symbol. You click on
Whoa.
that, you have to fly through, and you're back to parallax world. So this element of flying through 3D space can be simulated in Flash.
Do you do it in layers? How do you create the different layers in the parallax?
So the way that breaks down is we do a calculation based on the size of each layer. So you can see that the dandelions here are this layer is a lot larger than the layer with the mountains and the trees. And the layer with the clouds doesn't move at all because it's the same size as the stage.
Right.
So based on that ratio, that's how we determine how fast each layer should move.
So it's actually done numerically, programmatically.
Programmatically.
You don't tell it ahead of time, you just say, these are the numbers.
Exactly.
Wow.
And a gentleman by the name of Damien Clark, he's based out of Australia, where you have a lot of fans.
Oh, yeah.
He works for a company called DX Interactive, and they specialize in 3D games within Flash. And so this example I'm going to show you here is a game called Blocks Wars, which he developed. And it involves exactly what we're talking about. He generates 3D sequences within 3D Max.
Look at this.
And brings them into Flash, and those animations are controlled using the keyboard. So he sent me some really cool imagery that kind of steps us through his process.
So this is 3D Studio Max right now.
This is him in 3D Studio Max, rendering out the block, which is quite easy, and rendering it doing 12 different animations for each rotation that you can produce. He then takes those sequences, brings them into Flash, and organizes it in such a way that when a key is specifically pressed, it goes to that animation and plays it.
Clever.
His world is, and he further sells the animation by creating shadows and such. And his world, the level, is developed by tessellating a series of tiles. And so you can see here, this is him creating a level. And the result is 33 very addictive.
I want to play this game. And you're doing that all with the keystrokes.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you get it in there? Come on, go back.
So 33 very
that looks like fun. I want to play that game.
It is so great.
So it really isn't that much different from any Flash animation, except that the little players, the sprites that they're using, are designed in a 3D program, right? And you add some features in Flash like shadow to give it more of a 3D feeling.
Right. So with CS3, so that's faking 3D.
That's faking 3D.
That's faking 3D.
Yeah.
So with CS3, it's fast enough now that you can actually generate, using mathematics, actual 3D space. So here we have an example of just a basic cube represented in blobs moving around in 3D space. And
is this done in ActionScript? How are you generating?
Yes,
really?
It's done in ActionScript. It's using a library.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's an open source library called PaperVision 3D. And you can see here, it all involves cameras and using something we call a Z depth. So you have the usual X, Y depth, but then you have an additional depth called Z.
You'd have to for 3D. You have to have a third dimension.
Right, so that's the DNA sequence. And what I want to show you is on their website, if you go to panavision3d.org, you can actually see a live demo of an underwater sequence that they created. And that's what we had at the
I can't believe you
here.
could do this in Flash.
Yes.
I just am amazed. So they would create the fish as multiple objects, right?
Correct. Multiple objects described in 3D, bring them into Flash, and move the camera angle as...
And the tricky thing is the animation's so smooth, Flash is fast enough to put the appropriate fish image in there in sequence. And of course it has to do it in real time too, because you're moving around. It doesn't know what it's going to look like until you tell it where you're looking
That's
from.
right. So you can, in this demo here, you can follow the fish, or feel free to use the camera and just click around, bump the shark, get them out of your way so you can view the other fish.
So for gaming, this would be great, but I think of making a 3D website, there's a lot of applications.
There's a
for
lot
this.
of applications.
Are you starting to work with your students in 3D Flash now?
We are. We do a lot of image sequencing, like I showed you before, bringing them into Flash. But we're starting to teach them CS3. It's a new thing, and ActionScript 3.0 is a step beyond what ActionScript 2.0 is,
right.
Meaning that there was a lot more object-oriented concepts that have been integrated into the language.
So it's a real programming language.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a learning curve, but you know, we try to put it into the curriculum so
That's
they get
so
it.
great. Jacob teaches at the Vancouver Film School, VFS, and you can also see his stuff at jacobtran.com. We'll put links to all those things, including that. I want to play that block game some more.
Isn't it great?
That is so cool. That'll be on our website, labwithleo.com. Thanks for stopping by, Jacob.
Anytime.
It's so neat. Hey, let's take a close-up look. This is 2D, I'm sorry to say, but it's of a 3D object, a close-up of something you commonly find around the lab. What the tech is that? Think about it. We'll zoom out. I think I know. Oh, Mr. Cotta. We'll find out when we zoom out right after this. Welcome back to the lab. What is that? Let's zoom out and find out. I think it's a Sony Ericsson Seagate hard drive. I got it wrong. Sean takes those with his super duper extra super wide angle macro upside down cake. I'm impressed. That fooled me. I was sure that was a Sony Ericsson phone. Oh well. Hey, thanks for the cool picture. Hope you had fun with that game. Now let's get on with the meat of the matter, and that would be another call. Kate Abraham, what do you got for me?
We have John on the line from Highland in California, and I think he's driving.
Oh, well, John, pay attention to the road. You don't want the California Highway Patrol to pull you over. Actually happened to me on a radio show. The guy was talking to me, asked a question, said, well, I'm getting pulled over. We listened in while he talked to the officer and everything. He said, he said, you can't stay here. He said, oh, okay. So don't get in trouble, John. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm driving hands-free, so I'm paying attention to the traffic.
Good man.
I finally had to break down and buy a new computer, so I got me a new Dell.
All right.
It came with Vista. And since I had an old Dell with all my programs on it and stuff, I thought I'd use my Aloha Bob and transfer everything like I did on my wife's computer.
Right.
Well, come to find out, Microsoft bought Aloha Bob, so they're no longer selling updates to their software.
That's right.
So I tried Microsoft Beta for moving your program.
Yeah.
They've got a built-in program on the Vista that lets you move the settings.
That's right. And I'm thinking it's probably based on PC Relocator, actually.
In fact, it is. Microsoft bought the company.
Yeah.
But anyway, I loaded it on my Vista and on my XP machine and tried to do the transfer, fired it up on the XP machine, and it gives me an error message saying, hey, I can't run on this machine.
Oh, no.
So I haven't been back to visit them. I did some checking. That's why I found out that a lower Bob wouldn't work. I tried that too. So their product is still in beta. So is there another way I can transfer my programs from an XP to a Vista?
So the Vista program only gets the files and settings. It doesn't get your programs. And the reason it doesn't is because they don't want to assume that anything will work on Vista. They don't want you to copy stuff over and have difficulty. Now, there is a product. Let me see if this works with Vista. I'm pretty sure it does. It's called the Tornado. And it's $59.95, and it is really interesting. It looks like a USB device, but it's got a little dongle in the middle here, and that actually contains software, and it allows you to move files from one side to the other. But it says any Windows PC, but I want to make sure it works with Vista. And it says it does. It says it works with Vista. So this is the same idea as Aloha Bob. But what's interesting is you buy the cable and you get the software. The software is actually in the cable, so you don't install everything ahead of time. It's USB on both sides, USB 2.0. I have one and I haven't tried it. I should really try it. I'll bring it in and maybe we'll let Sean try it. Oops, I went to another site. Maybe I'm playing that Block Stories game. We'll have Sean try it and see how well this works. I can't completely recommend it just because I don't know how well it works from XP to Vista. There's always issues when you're moving from one version of an operating system to another. But they claim it'll work with both. It's got very similar functionality to Aloha Bob. You see, you've got the Tornado interface. I think because it's less automatic, you have to choose what you're going to move stuff over. it might be that it's a little safer to use. You just drag and drop files or directories from one to the other. And by the way, it can go in either direction. Doesn't really matter. So I think that's kind of cool. It's called the Tornado at thetornado.com. $59.95. It's I guess what I would say is the successor to Aloha Bob. The company that does this does some really good stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good.
Okay.
All right, give that a try.
I will.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
All right, get your hands on the wheel. Keep going down the highway. We'll see you next time, all right?
Right. I was going to tell you, enjoy your show, and I miss you from back in the old days on G4 and stuff.
Well, now,
you do a great job.
Do you listen to my show on the radio? Because I'm on down your way on, I think, KFI.
Yeah, I listen to that every Saturday and Sunday.
Good man. That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you very much. Hey, well, take care. We'll see you again soon, all right? Meanwhile, I'm going to walk over here. I don't have to worry about the highway patrol. They're not going to pull me over. I'm just going to skate over to Mr. Ryan Ewell. He's got a Ewell's Jewel.
Yes, and it's a small one today, but it's one that I'm finally found something that I had frustrations with Windows. It's for Windows.
This is a special segment we call Ewell's Tiny Jewels.
Yes, well, it doesn't happen very often, but when they do, we have them.
Yes.
But here it is. I find that with Windows, it tries to be a little too smart. For instance, I hit Start, I hit My Documents, and if you check out the path here, it says, oh, hey, we're at My Documents.
But that's not true.
Really? No, that's not where we are in the hard drive. Where is My Documents? Well, guess what? I got a little. Here's what we do. Let's do that again. But let's hit Start. And I'm going to highlight My Documents. And I have this thing called Copy Path. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go and select this here. It says.
This is a little.
Copy folder path.
A little extension for your right click.
There. So I'm going to copy folder path. Okay, I've copied the folder path.
Copied it. Now what do you do?
So now you just have to, if you want to see what it did, I'll just paste it right up here. I'm going to paste it. And there you go. That's the actual path.
That's exactly. When you say path, you're talking about the drive, the folders, all the way to the actual location of the folder.
There you go. So you can do it. So I'm on the desktop.
Lots of times you'd need that if you were, writing a little batch file or you wanted to enter it in.
Show somebody where to go on your computer. So I'm on test.exe. Same thing. It's a file. I just go right click. Copy
it's on the
file
desktop,
path.
but where's the desktop?
Exactly.
Right?
Now when I go Control V, there you go. Documents and settings. Ryan desktop test.exe. So it just does it all for you. You don't have to find it.
It'd be a good little thing to have installed all the time. I think. Yeah. What's that called again?
It's called Copy Path.
Copy Path, and you can get it where?
I believe at labwithleo.com.
That would be the place. The Ryan Ewell's Tiny Jewels.
Well, this time.
Just that sometimes they're giant jewels, but most of the time they're medium-sized jewels. It just depends. Anyway, you can get it all at labwithleo.com. More of your calls coming up, but right now it's quick quiz question time. No, you answer this, Ryan.
Okay.
Because you probably know the answer. This is for others. Which of these electrical measurements are roughly equivalent when powering a light bulb? Watts and amps, amps and volts, watts and volt amps, Hoover dam, and a 9-volt battery. Cha-ching! I have no idea. No idea at all. You think about it. I bet you know. Well, we'll find out later on as The Lab with Leo continues.
Hey there, welcome back to The Lab with Leo. I'm Kate Abraham, and now it's time for our Facebook app of the day. This one, it's fun. It's, again, not particularly tech savvy, but it involves rock, paper, scissors. And it's going to be the Red Bull. It should be Rochambeau, but it's Rochambeau.
Oh, I get it.
Because of its play on words.
From Red Bull.
Exactly. So what you do is on your homepage, when somebody's actually challenging you, you challenge credits, and when it becomes your turn, you can actually check the other person's stats. So, for instance, Sean...
He's whooping your booty.
Yeah, I know. But as you can see, he usually rolls the rock. So I'm like, okay, so what should I go for? And here's the challenge. And right now, I'm just waiting for Sean to come back and let me beat him.
This is great. So he goes back and forth.
Literally, yeah. And you get like an indication of when I'll roll, then he'll roll, and vice versa.
It's kind of low tech, but it's cool. It's fun.
It's a little time waster for a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's,
Rochambeau.
Rochambeau.
Have you ever had Red Bull?
It's
horrible.
You know what? I think actually it's illegal in France.
Because?
The caffeine level is so retardedly high.
You know what's interesting? My son, 12-year-old, loves Red Bull. And I think it's really designed for kids. It's so sweet.
It's awful.
And of course, we don't let him drink coffee, but he goes to this camp, and they allow you 3 Red Bulls a day.
A day?
Yeah, a day. And it's a skate camp, right? Because everybody's amped up and listening to rock music, and they're skating, and he's drinking the Red Bulls. But then there's a guy named Red Bull Bob. at the camp. They let Red Bull Bob into the camp, skating around, going, "Oh, hey, you want a Red Bull?"
No.
And so my son one day had 5 Red Bulls on one day.
When did he last sleep?
That's what I asked him. I said, "You sleep?" He said, "Not much." So now I'm weaning him off Red Bull. He came back. We had to do an intervention.
Wow.
And we're slowly, we're giving, well, you know what we did? We gave him a cup of tea in the morning because, he'd get a terrible headache after all that caffeine. So we gave him a cup of tea in the morning, slowly work him down. And he's going, "Dad, I need a Red Bull. I gotta have." Terrible.
Wow.
But he had fun. Crazy. He likes that camp.
5, that might be a record, eh?
If I had 5 Red Bulls.
Vodka Red Bull's okay.
Oh, well, let's not get into that. I'm not letting Henry try that.
That could be an English drink, maybe.
Yeah, that's right up there with, what was that, custard?
Oh, do
you have custard in your vodka Red Bulls?
Tasty.
If
you have enough, you put anything in your vodka Red Bulls.
Okay, let's get another call.
Our next caller is Russell from Waterford West in Queensland, and he's via Skype. So I'm now going to do some alterations and bring him up.
Okay, I'll let you do alterations. I'll walk Russell. Very slowly over here. What's his name again?
Russell.
Russell, how are you today? Russell, how are you today? Russell, are you there? Hello, Queensland! There he is, Russell. I thought I heard something. Nothing. Too much Red Bull. I tell you, I'm sure it's fine. And in moderation, it's like anything else. It's not more caffeine than a cup of coffee, I don't think. But it's a lot to have 5 of them. I mean, he's a little kid. I don't know what he's doing. Have we got Russell there? We're trying to find Russell. We are seeking out Russell. Meanwhile, I'm going to play some more of this game. This game is addictive. During the commercials, we started playing Jacob Tran's game. This is tough. This is a really... Oh, I fell off. Oh, my goodness. This is on albinoblacksheep.com, which is a great Australian gaming site. In fact, my son loves this site, especially when he's had a lot of Red Bull. And the game is, as you can see up there, BLOXORZ or XORZ, and it's tough because you've got to, you got to have. Hey. All right, so Kate's going to give us the question.
Yes, I am, because I can't get Russell back. So his question's about RAID array.
RAID array.
Yes, and he wants to know if there's a way to recover the RAID array, or at least recover one of the striped pairs so that he can get his data back.
RAID. Now, this is a big issue, because RAID comes to us from the business world, where it is really quite useful. RAID stands for Redundant Array of sometimes independent, sometimes intelligent, sometimes inexpensive, depending on who you talk to, disks. Let's say inexpensive, a redundant array of inexpensive disks, because that underscores what it's really for. It's taking 2, 4, 8, any even number of inexpensive disks and marrying them together for one of 2 reasons, either for reliability or redundancy or for speed. You can even do it for both. There are different RAID levels. RAID 0 is what we call striped. It speeds up the writing by spreading the data across multiple disks. The reason this speeds things up is there's something called disk latency. When you write something to the disk, you got to wait till it spins all the way around again to write the next thing and the next thing, and that can slow you down. So what they do with striping is they write part to this disk, and while it's spinning around, they write it to the next one, the next one, the next one, and the next one. It also gives you another advantage, which is the total amount of disk space you have is the sum of all of these disks. Actually, it's more complicated than that. It's the number of disks times the size of the smallest of the disks. Just think of it as the sum of all 4 disks. So if you've got 4 250 gigabyte drives, you get a terabyte of storage. And it's very fast. Now, there's also RAID redundancy, or mirrored, in which case you'd have 2 disks or a multiple of 2 disks, and you would copy the contents of the first disk to the second disk as you write. So if one disk fails, the other one comes back. So that's redundant or mirroring. You can even have combinations of the 2 with multiple disks. The best RAID is actually a high-level RAID called RAID 5, which is not available on most PCs, and that allows you to do both redundant and striped. It's a very efficient way to have a redundant set of disks. One disk fails, you just pull it out and you put it back in. So RAID 5 is not available on most PCs because most PCs are using something called BIOS-based RAID, or it's really software RAID. They'll have a RAID card, or what seems like a RAID card in the system, but it's not really giving you the full hardware RAID. Now, I think I've done the explanation of what RAID is. I think Russell is back, yes? There he is. Hey, Russell. So you had a RAID array and you lost a disk.
Oh, I actually had a spare 80 gig hard drive, which I kept for that particular reason. but the two primary 80 gig hard drives were actually slightly bigger than the spare one that I had.
Okay.
And when I tried to add the spare, it kept on telling me that the spare one was too small.
Yeah, generally the way RAID, you'd have to rebuild the RAID from scratch to add a different size drive to it. And when you do so, you will make the two larger drives appear to be the size of the smaller drive. So it needs to do it in chunks of equal size, and the size it uses is the lowest common denominator, the smallest disk. So it'll look like 3 80 gig disks, and the only way to do that is to recreate the RAID array. Is that what you don't want to do?
No, I accidentally deleted it. I tried to bring the second pair of striped disks up as the primary ones instead of the hidden ones, and I accidentally deleted it.
So you've already lost your data.
Well, kind of. I've tried a program called Get Back Data and RAID recovery from.
No, it's not going to do it on a RAID. That RAID is dead. I mean, the problem with RAID, first of all, I don't recommend software RAIDs on PCs. The striping it gives you virtually no benefit. The mirroring, what people find is they have a false sense of security for two reasons. One, often it's impossible to recreate the mirror. But more importantly, it's not really a backup because it's all in that machine. If you had a fire or a tornado or a flood or an earthquake, you'd lose it all anyway. The only good backup is a backup you could take and put somewhere else. So I don't really recommend software RAID arrays, the kind you get on your PC. It sounds like you're stuck for this very reason. You've trashed the striped array or the mirrored array. You're not going to be able to get it back with any standard recovery software because it's a non-standard drive. It's a striped or a mirrored drive. I think you're probably out of luck. Generally, stay away from RAID unless you have hardware RAID in an external box. That's my opinion anyway. You agree, Sean?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we haven't seen much benefit at all from software RAID.
Not too much.
And a lot of people like Russell will go, oh my God, what happened? There's nothing you can do. You can't recover it now. And remember, if you put two drives in an array, you're only as reliable as either of those drives. So your chance of failure is actually going up because one of those drives is more likely to fail than the other, right?
For most home users, I don't recommend
RAID. It's a bad
at all.
idea. Bad idea, yeah. All right. We're going to take a break. I'm sorry we couldn't get Russell on earlier, but at least we were able to get him on a little bit. More of your calls coming up in just a little bit. You stay right here. The Lab with Leo continues right after this.
8 commercials, 7, 6, 5 commercials, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Lab with Leo, and let's get another caller on the air here. Kate Abraham.
Our last caller of the day is Nathan from Saskatoon.
Hey, Nathan from Saskatoon. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
And your shirt says Bishop Mahoney. Is that the school you go to?
Yes, it is.
All right. Go Bishop Mahoney.
Yeah.
Is there a mascot we should know about?
No, we don't have one.
No. Okay, well, we should come up with one for you. How about the Woodpeckers? The Bishop Mahoney Woodpeckers. No, that's not good. Let's answer your question before I get in any more trouble. What can I do for you?
It's a 3-part question, actually.
Well, I'd only have a 1-hour show, so let's do one at a time, and if we can get them all 3 in, we will. What's the first part?
The first one is when I play some of my games, pop-up comes up that says I need to increase my virtual memory.
Okay. Are you managing virtual memory yourself, or are you letting Windows do it?
I'm letting Windows do it.
And you still say you're running out. How much RAM do you have?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. Virtual memory is a swap file, and Windows calls it a page file. What the idea is if you use up all of your RAM, the computer could just say, I give up, and crash, or much more gracefully, it could say, well, I'm going to start using the hard drive instead of RAM, right? There's a problem with that. The hard drive is like 20,000 times slower than RAM, so it's not desirable. But at least it's better than crashing. The problem is, what if you also run out of hard drive space? Then you kind of got a problem. And I guess what's happening here, I'm not sure. And normally, if you have enough hard drive space, the Windows is managing its own swap file. It'll just expand it to make more room. So there's a couple of possibilities. One is that your hard drive is running out of space. Do you know how much room you have left on your hard drive?
A few hundred gigabytes.
Few hundred gigabytes. Well, that should be more than enough. If you have not quite enough RAM, you know, adding more memory might help to your system. You probably have enough RAM, though. I'm guessing that even if you're not managing your, if you didn't specifically tell Windows that you would manage the memory, somebody did. That's usually what this means. And what you do is you go to your computer and you select properties on your computer. And you can go to, now this is, I'm a little at sea here because now all of a sudden we're using Vista. So I'm going to have to scan around here to find out where they keep this information. Disk quotas, wow, this is interesting. Oh, it's all different now. Maybe it isn't here. Maybe it's somewhere else. But are you on Vista or are you on XP?
I'm on 2000.
2000?
Yeah.
And you're gaming on Windows 2000, huh?
I am.
Well, I can tell you in 2000 it is where I thought it is, which is you right-click the computer, select properties, and you're going to look at the advanced properties, and you're going to look at the page file. Make sure you don't specify a size for the page file. If you have more than one drive, you should say I can have a page file, a Windows managed page file on multiple drives. That'll give you some more room. You know, if you have more than 100 gigs left on your hard drive and you haven't told Windows arbitrarily to keep the page file small, you should have enough room. It may be an error, a spurious error. It may be an error that has nothing to do with virtual memory. It may just be that that's the best that Windows 2000 can do. What game are you trying to play?
It's a lot of different games, actually.
You see it a lot?
Yeah.
I think it may be just a Windows 2000 problem. Did they used to work?
No, it's done this for a while.
They've never, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably because you're trying to game on Windows 2000. Windows 2000 really is not an ideal gaming platform. Do you have an XP machine you can use instead?
No.
And you don't have a copy of XP lying around the house, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. 2000 is traditionally very difficult to game on. It's just not designed for gaming. It may be that it says you don't have enough virtual memory, but what it's really doing is saying, oh, your video card isn't working, or, you know, maybe you don't have the right version of DirectX. I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to do much gaming on that system, I'm sorry to say. Okay. Worse yet, I don't have time for parts 2 and 3. Call back again. We'll get you on another time, and we could talk more about that. Gaming on Windows 2000, far from ideal, right? I mean, I'm not surprised you're having trouble.
I upgraded from 2000 for that reason.
XP
exactly.
right now is the operating system of choice for gaming. Vista even is not a good idea. XP is the place to be. Oh, the kilowatt is back. We're going to measure volts, yes?
You know, I've talked about this in other things where I was measuring power,
right.
But let's talk about the gadget itself because I love this little gadget.
This is so cool.
So it's from P3 International. It's called the Kilowatt. It's about $30. I'll have you hold this right here.
All right, I'm going to hold it. Now we've got it plugged into the wall and something plugged into it, right?
Right. So what you want to do is you use this.
The power is going through it.
Right. So you use this to measure power draw. So if you're having something that's maybe tripping a breaker, you can find out how much energy each of these things is using. That's one thing. If you just want to get something that's lower wattage so that you don't eat up as much power, you can use it for that as well. So we're going to test right here to see how much this lamp right here uses.
Okay. Ah! Oh boy.
So
I think I sucked up some of those volts. Wow,
yeah,
221 watts.
Here, let me just
kind of
get that out of your face.
Bright light.
Right,
okay.
So you can actually tell a few things here. So
now, looking at the bulb doesn't tell you 221 watts,
no,
does
it says 250, so it's not always exactly what you see. So we can measure not only
volts.
The volts. So this will tell you how much the line is. You think it'll be 110 to 120, but it tends to fluctuate.
Yeah, okay.
You can see how many amps is drawing. 2 amps, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you press the watts twice, you get volt amps.
What's volt amps? Volts times amps?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
And you can measure actually the hertz as well.
That's what it's supposed to be, is 220.
And this one is doing something a little bit wacky. But the one thing I really like about this is it actually goes into kilowatt hours. So you can measure over time.
So if you left that on, it would tell you after an hour or two how many kilowatt hours that lamp, that heavy, that's a lot of wattage.
Yes.
Good for your PC or other devices that you use. And as you say, this is a good way to maybe measure your how much you're using so you can conserve better.
Yes. Yeah. We're certainly not conserving with this.
Turn it off, would you please? $30.
$30.
Great deal. Kilowatt from P3. Yes. Our Sean's Shiny of the day. Coming up, we're going to talk about the hottest technology on the web right now. It empowers so many Web 2.0 sites, and it's a great way to get started in web development if you're interested in it. We'll talk about Ruby on Rails in just a bit. But first, one more chance to take our quick quiz question of the day. Our question of the day today is, which of these electrical measurements are roughly equivalent when powering a light bulb? I feel like Alex Trebek. Watts and amps, amps and volts, watts and volt amps, pots and dumps, or Hoover Dam and a 9-volt battery? Absolutely. Give me the answer. I'll tell you what, I have no idea. We'll talk about it. Somebody will tell me. Somebody will clue me in, and we'll talk about it when the lab continues. Welcome back to the lab. Before the break, we asked you, this elaborate question. I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's the answer. Watts and volt amps. Don't ask me why. Ask Sean. But I guess he tells me that on a simple load that they're the same. But if you get a complicated issue, like where you have multiple sources, they aren't the same. But in many cases, watts equals volt amps. Jeremy Hubert is here. He's an independent web developer. He's one of the rock stars of the web world. Why? Because he can talk Ruby on Rails.
True.
It is the hot language right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Ruby is, what Rails is, and then show you what it would be involved in. Do you think if somebody were coming out of school, or maybe a high school kid wanted to know more about programming, wanted to do web programming, this would be a good place for him to start?
I do. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Him or her. Of course, these days we're seeing a lot more.
A lot of hers. A lot of hers. Let's talk first about Ruby. Ruby's a programming language, right?
Yes. Ruby itself is a language. So the difference a lot of people don't understand is...
Rails is not a language.
Rails is not a language. No, it's a framework. Okay. But Ruby is a language, much like Java or C++ or PHP or any of these...
When you first... did you go to study computer science in college?
No, I didn't.
No, of course not.
Straight from high school.
Really?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes.
So what was the first language you learned?
PHP.
Very, very popular web language.
Yes.
Still is. It is the P in LAMP, for instance.
Exactly.
It's a very common web developing language.
And for years, that was the web developing language for quick scripting.
Good for quick scripting, not so good for developing a quick website.
Exactly, or a web application.
Yeah.
Java or .NET were much more preferable.
Right, and there's a lot of .NET development still going on. That's
is.
Microsoft's kind of house language. Ruby was developed in Japan about 10 years ago by a guy named Mats.
Yeah, he developed it out of university as a goal to make a beautiful language that was simple and fun to write.
People who write in Ruby say it's really expressive, that they could just kind of think in Ruby and write that way.
That is very true.
That's your experience?
It's very true. It feels very intuitive.
Yeah.
You can almost speak Ruby.
Okay, so Ruby's a language.
Correct.
What's Rails?
Now, Rails is a framework. A framework is a group of rules and functions built on top of a language.
Is it like a library of tools?
It's a collection of libraries, exactly.
Okay.
So it allows you, for example, it takes care of all the complicated stuff about sending an email from your web application or connecting to a database. If you use a good framework, you can just specify what database you want to connect to, and your application should modify itself to work with the database.
It's kind of the process all along in programming has gone from very low-level languages, writing in assembler, machine language code, to tell the processor every single thing it has to do, and then going up to higher level languages like C and then C++, and then scripting languages like Perl and PHP and Python and Ruby. And now one step higher, where you're still writing in Ruby, but a lot of the work is done for you. So you're really not even thinking about the processor, not even thinking about the computer, really, are you?
Not so much.
Completely independent of the hardware.
Yeah, and actually with Rails itself, I spend more time thinking about the business problem than I do about anything else.
Which is what makes it easy to develop. Is there a lot of stuff written in Ruby on Rails these days?
There is a lot of things. We're seeing a lot more come out these days because you're able to think of an idea and solve a business problem and write the code behind it, and Ruby makes it, I actually find it fun to write. I built an application on the plane flying down to a client and sold it when I got to the client.
You're kidding? Well, it ain't so
like
bad then.
3 hours.
Wow.
You can actually think and develop an idea in your head and then put it down. It's just, you don't think about the computer problem.
Do you think that's one of the reasons we're seeing so many new sites in Web 2.0 is that you can have a concept and you can get it out there in the public eye very, very quickly?
Very quickly.
Yeah. Show us some sites that people are doing in Ruby on. I mean, is there a particular look that you'll notice? Oh, that's Ruby. Can you look at a site and say Ruby on Rails?
Not necessarily a site, but you can look at functionality a lot of times.
Yeah.
You might have heard of terms like Ajax and Prototype, these JavaScript-based things.
Right.
Ruby helps make those very easy. So a lot of these sites are having like menus that come down or autofill information for you a lot quicker.
Rails was developed by 37 Signals, which did Basecamp and so many of these great Web 2.0 sites.
They've really been a pioneer of the simplicity.
It was a tool they did for themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
And then gave to the world.
And they've had tremendous success with these websites.
Yeah.
So we've got the Basecamp site that you mentioned. We've also got Blinkso, which is a fantastic invoicing app built in Ruby on Rails.
Yep.
And Corked, which was a wine community put together by a designer and one programmer.
Just got bought, by the way.
It did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they made a little money on this. There is a certain similarity. Maybe that's just a design similarity. Big letters, a very bold, simple look and feel. But that's not Ruby on Rails.
Exactly. There's a lot of confusion there between what Web 2.0 is and Ruby on Rails. The Web 2 design style is very prominent these days.
But it's not required by Ruby
You can
on
use
Rails.
Ruby on Rails to do anything. In fact, I actually use Ruby on Rails on the Leo Laporte website.
All right, this is what I want to see. Now, Jeremy just kind of whipped this together as a way to get the Lab with Leo, another way to use the Lab with Leo. Let's see what you did here.
So we've got the Lab with Leo website here.
Right.
And I've taken your frame of the exact website. Okay. One of the things I wanted to do is because I know that I'm going to be on this show, and I figured I might as well just add myself into the show.
Easy to add guests now. Add a new show. Look at that.
So
this is something we don't have. Okay.
I put this together this morning before coming on the show.
This is Rails running.
It took me about half an hour. This is Rails running inside the Lab website. So I've used the frame. We can make it look however we want, and it's nice and easy for me to show. What episode? 74?
Yeah.
Episode number 74.
72, but that's close enough, yeah.
All right, we'll go to 72.
Who cares?
Jeremy Hubert shows off Ruby on Rails. And add show notes, we get the air date, whenever we want it to be. We'll make it 2011 just in case
we're traveling in time.
And
so all of this functionality was kind of provided by Rails. You didn't have to really think about how to do it. You just thought about what you wanted.
Exactly. So a lot of the stuff that just happened here, I had to say, I want to make guests, I want to make shows.
And you think as a business process instead of as a programmer.
Exactly. So I've added the ability to add guests and edit shows, and we can add a full guest here.
Look at this.
We can view the show list.
Get Raj in here. I think this is a lot easier. We're using Drupal, which is written in PHP with MySQL.
Right.
Can you integrate? Does that happen too, that people will integrate different technologies like that?
A lot of times these days you get these APIs. Right. One of the things that Ruby on Rails is very nice with is an API. It almost comes with it if you build according to the Ruby on Rails rules.
People want to learn Ruby on Rails. Do you recommend the Pragmatic Programmer's book? Is that the best one?
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
The Ruby on Rails books from Pragmatic Programmers are wonderful. The websites, I think we're going to have some information on your website as to how they can find more.
Everything they need to know.
They're absolutely wonderful guys.
Jeremy, it's been great having you on. Thank you so much for joining us. He is. Are you still with Rain City or?
Rain City and I, we still partner up. We work together. Great bunch of guys. I'm currently an independent developer, having a lot of fun with Rails.
And that's the beauty of it. You can be one-man job.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jeremy. We'll be back with a final word right after this. Stay here. Thing Jeremy told me, if you have skills in Rails, you can find work like that.
Stored it.
What? Kate Abraham, short for this world apparently. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time on The Lab with Leo. Take care.